This is the start of my new build. Basically, I'm taking a VDD Toys HK416. So remember, that's the same HK416 we've seen in some of my other builds. Just the VDD Toys one comes with the drum mag. So that's the big difference. But otherwise, it's the exact same blaster. And this kind of gives you an idea of what I've done. So I've got all my parts printed. They just need to be finished and painted and that kind of stuff. And I just kind of show you how I was going to do things because I got a couple new ideas I'm going to try. First off, when it comes to the paint, like I said, these are my favorites now. They're the Rust-Oleum 2-time Premium Ultra Matte. So we got a Premium Ultra Matte, that's called Down to Earth, but that's kind of that desert sand look. And then the black. So I'm going to do desert sand and black. So I'm going to keep some of it the factory black. It's just easier to do that, and I still think it'll look nice. So the plan is to do this in desert sand, right? Some of the rails and stuff will be in the black. This top piece comes off, just this top part. That'll be desert sand, so the barrel kind of all goes through nicely. And then I'm going to leave the stock in black, I'm going to leave the handle in black, and leave the bottom part of the receiver there in black. So that's kind of what I'm going to do painting-wise. Something new I'm going to try, and I don't know why I didn't do this in the past, is this is a 2-in-1 filler and sandable primer. So that should help fill in some of the imperfections on the 3D prints as well. This stuff has not been sanded yet. It does have some regular filler put into it, kind of some plastic style filler, and then I'll sand it, and then we'll go ahead and hit it with this. After that dries really good, sand it again, and hopefully that'll keep everything really clean and smooth. It'll be really nice to see if these seams just disappear with that. That's the idea, right? So when it comes to performance, what I'm going to do is go ahead with a metal X-Force tack barrel, and this is the nice, really long one. I believe it's 350 millimeters. And then I plan on putting a new spring in there as well. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of performance changes we get with that. And when it comes to the cosmetic part, you can see a lot of it. So with this barrel, or this stock, excuse me, I want to be able to use it on this because it's a nice stock and I don't have it being used right now. So rather than print something, I try to use what I have on hand too. So I've got a little rivet nut, and I'm going to recess that in here. I'm not going to, so my goal too is to, any modifications I make to the receiver or the factory parts, I want to modify them so slightly that you could still go back and put it together in that factory setting, right? So what I'll do is I'm going to recess that in the middle of this piece, right? So this piece isn't going to get cut. I'm going to have a wire come out on each side of it, just kind of through the side of this piece, because again, then that won't affect it. And this piece is going to get painted, and this will go on here, right? And then this will screw into that nut nice and tight, and then hopefully the stock will work good in that situation. So that's the plan, at least. And this piece won't even need to be secured because when this tightens it down against it, that should be adequate. So that's the plan when it comes to the stock end, okay? Now when it comes to the other end, of course, we've got the big barrel. So you can see the barrel here has some little inner kind of stabilizers inside there. So that would go on, basically, here's my, I guess you'd call this second inner barrel. So this would go on here. Of course, I'd put the metal barrel in first. This would then go on. So that should line up nicely. All right. There we go. So this will go on like this. So you can see it's a nice long barrel. This locks into place basically with like some bolts like this, right? So this will lock into place with those bolts. I'm not going to tighten them down right now, but that'll lock it in place, which is nice, right? And then we'll go ahead with this piece. This piece is kind of a little rail riser that I modified to fit on here. So let's get that lined up. That should come through here. There's a couple spots where I've got some filler right now, so it's not liking getting over that. All right, so this would go like this. So you can see it's going to come right to the end here. I will probably do a couple small holes to secure to this. I don't want them to go very deep, but just to secure it and keep it stable. It's not really going to add stability to the barrel. The barrel shouldn't need it, but I thought I'd do that. I thought it'll look cool. And as you can see, obviously, there's a difference between the rail height here. And instead of trying to put a new top rail all the way across this and filling in underneath, I thought this was a good solution. It'll still look cool. In fact, I mean, I don't even think it looks bad to have a barrel that doesn't line up with the rail. Like, I don't think that necessarily looks bad, but I thought that would be a cool add-on. So that's the plan there. We flip it over. Got this M-lock rail that'll go in here, right? So that'll help cover up the seams as well. And also we'll cover up the stabilizers and screw into those stabilizers. So just adding stability. And then on the sides, I'm going to use these kind of just as decorative pieces. They're M-lock rail covers, but they're just going to be more for decorative pieces, and they'll be painted that accent color. They'll be painted the black because this will be all that desert tan. Now, in order to get a tip on there, the easiest way to do it is these barrels that I printed, these outer barrels, they're not small enough, or excuse me, they're not big enough on the inner diameter for gel blaster barrels. So I have to drill those out, and then you lose the threads. So I'm going to take this threaded piece instead, which will have to get, which has been painted, and then that'll get mounted right there. And then we'll have our threads right here. So that is how that's going to work. The barrel itself should go basically all the way to the threads. And that's what I want to. I want this to go all the way to the threads. Even if it's slightly out of the threads, that's okay. That way you know the barrel's nice and straight. None of these pieces are affecting it, and none of those pieces are making it not straight. Okay, so that's the plan right there. This barrel was called like the PEGASO, or this kit. I mean, I guess it really was just the barrel kit, and it was made for airsoft, of course, so it definitely had to do some modifications to it to make it fit. But then all the description was in Spanish, so not sure what else it said. But I'm going to try to take my time, really try to do a good job of sanding, really try to use this filler to see if I can clean everything up and make it look great. So that's the plan, and we will see how it turns out. It's my HK416 PEGASO. That's what I'll just call it, HK416 PEGASO. So it'll be a nice long barrel, and then we'll have a nice tip off of there. Not sure what I'm going to use on that yet. I have several that are, made up and ready to go and painted orange already. So let me know what you guys think. Comments, questions, please post them below. Of course, please like, smash the subscribe button, share my channel with your friends, and participate in all those monthly giveaways. Thanks for the support.